Hey guys, it's Steph. I'm just hanging out. Sorry I didn't put a thing up and tell all of you guys I'm online right now. Let's see. What's the skinny? New dog arrives on Sunday. We go pick him up. So life is going to be very different here. I will introduce him. Still haven't got a name. There are hubby next to both Chewy and Indy, sadly. Anyway, but we've got some names that we're seriously looking at, so it'll be good. I want to talk a little bit about Disney layoffs. There is a website, and if I remember to do this, I will put the link in a comment on this video because it's called layoffs.com, and there's another one that Maze sent with Disney's. Let's put it this way, it explains what the job market's like at Disney, and hiring freeze and layoffs are prominent on it. But let's talk about this site called layoffs. Anyway, people who are part of Disney are posting things like, our lives are going to be ruined, stuff like that. You'll see it. I'll try to make sure that the link I give you leads right to that stuff because it's really like, it's coming. It's coming. Despite what some people say, changes are brewing. We could talk about the Warner Brothers. Hey, Robot X, how you doing? I'm doing good. We could talk about the changes that are coming in at NBC Universal, Warner Brothers Media. A lot of really major league layoffs happened there, and they're not just worker ants, they are executives leaving. And the rumors about Disney was they talked a lot about the studios, which means Pixar and Marvel, Walt Disney Studios, Lucasfilm was mentioned prominently. Talked a lot about that. So that'll be coming too. In fact, the more I think about it, and I don't know if it's going to be people we know, people who've caused a lot of trouble. I would think that Disney would have a chance at this point to, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Junebug Films. Disney would have a chance to, clean up the mess and start fresh. I think that would be a really good idea. I'm plugging my phone in here. I think that would be a really good thing if they did that. But we don't really know. Hey, Paul, how you doing? Well, we don't really know what these layoffs are going to look like. But people who were furloughed, from what I've looked at, from what I've read, everything's fine. From what I've looked at and everything I've read, the people who are furloughed are probably not coming back. Or most of them aren't coming back. And here's the deal. What you do with when you've got a chance and you want to slim down your company, you don't necessarily fire the little people. You probably go and look at different offices and find out where the redundancies are, who has been producing, how well is that division doing as far as what's the overhead versus what are they earning for the company, la, la, la. And then you start separating the wheat from the chaff, which, from what Doomcock has said, I think is probably going on. I want to talk a little bit about some rumors. First off, Mike Zero, you may all laugh, talked a little bit about a rumor going that they're going to get a new guy to play Luke Skywalker. Now, we all know that Mike Zero pulls stuff out of his ass. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He makes stuff up. he makes a lot of money on his website or on his channel. And, he's like, the Weekly World News, Globe News for Star Wars fans. A lot of this, 99% of the stuff he talks about never happens. The real rumor, the stuff that's actually coming out from solid places, is that they're gonna start CGIing the characters, like Leia and Tarkin in Rogue One. Now I know a lot of people didn't like it. I did. Okay, so bear with me. But apparently Mark Hamill signed his likeness away. Carrie Fisher did. We can assume we won't know that for a little while, Azia. We can assume Harrison Ford did too. There's still, for some reason, there's still, Ron Howard himself can say there is no plans for Solo 2. And they're like, Solo 2? It's like, they're not going to make it. Stop it. It was horrible. Why do you guys, I got to ask these people who like that movie, what the actual fuck did Harrison Ford do to you for you to like that piece of shit? What? All right. So, honestly, Mike Zero's wrong. It'll probably be CGI. Jon Favreau came out, and I might do a more in-depth video when I have a chance, talking about, I think it was in Deadline Hollywood, they probably hated this, talking about how the fans have to be respected, talking about you have to keep that fan base happy. That means us. That means everybody watching this, okay? That means everybody, who will watch this later. And I don't see them, I'm going to go to this next rumor, going into a cartoon, an animated series, or even a live-action film series about Ben Swolo. I don't fucking want to see that, except for the Ray blows. Adam Driver won't come back to do it. So why? Here's the deal. For the people and Drunk 3PO, I'm calling you out. Okay? There's a reason why I didn't even pay attention to this rumor, because it was stupid, but I'm going to have to pay attention to it now because you talked about it. Let's talk about how much money they're not making with the sequel trilogy. How big was a factor in that? Adam Driver, all right? Kylo Ren, Ben Swolo, was literally the worst villain character outside of Admiral Holdo, Rose Tico, and Rey that Star Wars ever had. He's uninteresting. He's a spoiled brat. There's no gravitas. There's no pathos about the character. I've got Revenge of the Sith on in the background. I've got several books now about literally the fall of Anakin Skywalker. And Ben Swolo couldn't carry Anakin's lightsaber. Okay. It's ridiculous. No. Hey, Liko. How you doing? It's ridiculous for people to believe that when they know what the earnings report said. Okay? They know what the earnings report said. And if you believe they only lost $4.7 billion in the third quarter, you must be smoking some really good stuff, because if you believe anything Disney said, you're a moron. I've got oceanfront property here in Iowa to sell you, okay? All right? It's never gonna happen. They lost probably a lot more than 4.7 billion. In fact, I would say they add a few more billion to that, and it's probably closer to the truth. All right? So you've got people saying that Well, they're talking about it like it's going to happen, but totally ignore what Doomcock is saying. I'm going to say this again. There are channels out there that are far bigger than mine, that have a far broader base than mine, but they only exist on misery and selling outrage. Okay? I don't like problems that can't be fixed. I don't support problems that can't be fixed. Fix the fucking problem, okay? All right, that's the way my politics are too. If it's broke, fix it. Star Wars is broken. Disney is broken. And I don't think it's wishful thinking, Sky Talker. They would say that about people saying George is back, Kennedy is gone. My thing is, look at the money. Look at the money. Look at how many billions the investors have lost. Yo, Boxing Jedi, dude. You've got to look at how close it is for Disney to really hit the crapper right now. Then, and I'm going to bring in things people never talk about, but I'm going to do it anyway. DOJ, dump your relationship with China. Bob Iger's like, no. Chapek is like, guide us on how to do that. They're going to do that. Federal Trade Commission. I think you might be in violation of the antitrust laws. Guess what? We may have to break you up. No one mentions that. No one. And those play a huge factor in what's going on, including what's happening at Lucasfilm. Regardless of anything that anybody else wants to say, the naysayers out there with it, even in the fandom menace, everything that happens at Disney that is bad will affect every other division in Disney, including Star Wars and Lucasfilm. Why? Because money talks, bullshit walks, okay? And Lucasfilm, being a division of Disney, has not kept itself up in earning money. In fact, people are saying, and I find this to be true after doing my own digging, they're literally $2 billion in the hole from, hey Cornelius, from what they were sold for. All right? That's $2 billion. That's a lot of money. Now, the rumor is that the investment people jumped in, the big money guys. Hey, Fenrir, the big money guys aren't idiots, and they might, do platitudes to for SJW shit, but when it comes right down to it, money talks, bullshit walks. And when they walk in and they see all of the projects that Kennedy put out there, that other parts of Lucasfilm put out there that didn't earn money, that actually wasted money, they are not happy because it's not necessarily Disney's money they're losing. Kennedy and company lost. It's the investors' money, okay? In my own opinion, okay, we know before COVID they were $59 billion in debt, which was driving their stock price down, all right? Because it was definitely going down, because I was watching it before COVID. When COVID hit, the price went down as low as $79 a pop. Disney, at one point, borrowed $11 billion. Hey, Dave. Disney borrowed $11 billion. A lot of these guys have heard this before, but I'm going over it. They borrowed another $11 billion, so that's $22 billion. You add that to the $59 billion they were in debt for buying 20th Century Fox and Searchlight. Then, apparently, they borrowed more. So, now, there is a thing out there, and I've seen it, it's how much corporate debt each conglomerate has. And let me say, Disney is probably close to being 100 billion in debt now if they're not at 100 billion. They will never say how much. It will take an act of government, all right, an act of government to push them to do it. They wouldn't be in the trouble they're in if Iger had had half a brain and not tried to buy 20th Century Fox and Fox Searchlight. And the fact that it looks like now that the investors, who probably know a hell of a lot more about the situation Disney's in right now than we do, if it took the investors to go in and start digging around, that's a big goddamn deal. Do I believe Kennedy's done? Yeah. Yeah, I do. There is somebody on Twitter called King of Peons who was, he's a not a Raylo. He works for Disney. I'm calling him out right now. But he insists that Kennedy's doing a fine job. He insists that George isn't coming back. It's the same argument, I think, that the ageist argument that he's old, he's going to die soon, and that just, you know, the bullshit, the ageist, stupid millennial, spoiled brat statement. Do I think he's actually coming back? I've said this before. George, and other people back me up on this, George has been back. He's been back since they started making The Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, it is. It is Sky Talker. You know, he went in there with to help. He helped with Rogue One. He did hang out on the set of Solo, but obviously it didn't work. You know, he has been there. He helped write and actually directed some scenes for the rejected, I call it the Abrams Lucas cut of The Rise of Skywalker. All right? That was the cut that Kennedy shit on, and the cut that we got was the one they refilmed. Okay? You guys saw the Reddit rumor. The guy saying that JJ was so upset. He didn't yell, but he basically said to the executives at Disney, why don't you just call it written and directed by Disney Lucasfilm? All right. You could tell that no one liked it. By the way, when they were talking about how they filmed it, that they weren't comfortable with it. When they were talking about it, Kennedy's sitting there. No one can look at her. There's video of it. I've shown it. They're all moving away from Kennedy. All of them. This tells me the movie they thought they were filming wasn't the one we got to see. Anthony Daniels has no problem shitting on it. He gets yelled at and screamed at by the SJWs. I'm also going to tell you this. There are not as many SJWs as the SJWs like you all to believe. Okay? In fact, you know, there really aren't that many Antifa members. A lot of the guys that are being arrested by the federal government are committing interstate riot act violations because they go from state to state to state to state, and that's a federal crime. It's a felony. You can't do that. Okay? So, what was I going to say? So, the people who say they liked it, they're not really that many. The fact that Rise of Skywalker didn't make as much as TLJ, not even close. It barely squeaked over the $1 billion mark. And who was it? I can't remember. But they just said, and I quote, let's assume it cost $600 million to make. That's $300 million to market. think about how much Disney took after theaters were paid off. Okay? Think about that. And there's a rumor going around that they want to make a Kyle Ron digital animated show or live action. And everybody, when they think in reality, knows full well, Adam Driver's never coming back. My character croaked, he's dead. Okay? Now, let's talk a little bit about the animated Lego thing. First off, a lot of people think Rey's going to train Luke. They refilmed about 40% of it. First off, it's probably not going to be that. I'm basically bringing reality here because everyone's like, woo, woo, freaking out. They're basing it on what a little bit of blurb said about it. Yeah, it is, Desert Maeve. It is, you're right. And basically it what they're looking at it is in the book Splinters of the Mind's Eye. Now I haven't read that book in years, and it wasn't my favorite Star Wars book by a long shot. The OT without Han Solo is sort of, to me. There's a woman, a mysterious woman who helps Luke in that, and I think that that's where that's coming from. But I don't, I'm pretty sure that they're not doing that with this Lego thing. And that's one of the other things I want to talk about. And I'm just saying, keep watching Doomcock stuff. He should be out with something today or tomorrow. I'm very, very looking forward to the next thing. I'd like to hear more about what Kennedy actually is doing now. Apparently she is working from home and she's not working on any Star Wars stuff. The fact that I want you guys to know something. The fact that Jon Favreau is now doing all kinds of interviews and she's not. And you have to understand, The Mandalorian got 15 Emmy nominations. Right? 15. And the bosses at Disney look at that and go, he's basically the only horse that's winning right now. It's like having a hermit. She's a lot of things right now, Fenrir. She was, they call them, in horse racing, they call them morning glories. Have a really well-bred horse, beautiful horse. There was a morning glory called Cosmic One. His mother was the great Zenyatta. His father was a horse named Medaglia d'Oro, I think. I think Medaglia d'Oro won the Belmont, I'm not sure. Beautifully bred animal. He's probably one of the most beautiful horses I've ever seen in my life. Take him out in the morning and he'd run like the devil. Put him on a racetrack and he'd be on the racetrack around, in the afternoon. He didn't give two shits. Not two shits. That's Kennedy as the president of Lucasfilm. She had one decent work. And the reason why is TFA. And the reason why is because Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Mark Hamill were in it. And people they wanted to see their heroes. And they didn't get to see their heroes at their best. And the unforgivable sin of that alone started the downfall of Kennedy at Lucasfilm. And it started the hate at J.J. Abrams. It started the hate, of Disney's You know, well, you know, I, you know, I can't understand the thinking about it. But you look at the story group, you look at people who write for it, like that Justina Ireland, that fat, angry lesbian, Claudia Gray, that fat, angry lesbian, Daniel Jose Older, that short, skinny, balding little racist dude, Pablo Hidalgo, who's, his father's commie son. And it's like, you know, if you can't do Star Wars without your fucking politics, GTFO. Now, hopefully, they will do that. But I am going to tell you guys something. As many good things might be coming up the road, we're going to still see trickling through the bullshit of, we're going to see a lot of Kennedy stuff still happening because those books are under contract. They have to be printed. That Leslie Headland show at least needs to go into, at least needs to go into should we do it or not phase. And they still have to actually make the announcement that they're not doing Rian Johnson's movies, and they're not. As much as he likes to tease people and troll people, it's not going to happen, okay? And the reason why is because Bob Chapek hates him. All right, here's the deal. Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni both know how much people hate Rian Johnson. They also know, all they have to do is go on Twitter and look at what the Phantom Menace is saying. They also know that people hate Rian Johnson and they hate what's going on. That's why Jon Favreau said we have to take into consideration what the real fans want while reaching out to new ones. Now, I don't know what that means necessarily. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to continue this ST shit. They're probably going to ignore it. Again, I don't agree with that. I think they should just say we're retconning it. It's gone. Pull off the bandage and go, August. Within about 15 days, we should know a little more. It's like waiting for Christmas. Maybe we won't hear anything. Could be another thing. We could be, they could put the announcement off. But just keep watching Doomcock and Midnight's Edge. Those guys, and if you're on the WDW Magic forums, follow Phoenix there, follow WDW Pro. I do, and just see what they're saying, see what they're doing, and okay, and because combined those three sources, their rumors come from different places, okay, which makes, hey, Pocket Nunu, and those sources, if they come from different places and they're kind of filling in each other's blanks and they're kind of pointing to the same thing, that's how you do intelligence, okay? It's not, Mr. X over there told me this was going to happen. That's not how CIA analysts, that's not how spies do it. They put together a synthesis of different intelligence, rumors, things they've heard, and if they all start jibing, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I'm sorry, but when it comes to Lucasfilm, the fire is out of control. It's out of control. Now, again, and I'm going to leave you then. Is Lucas back? He's been back. I don't give a shit what people think. The people that are saying that are either shells or they work so far away from Disney, from Lucasfilm, that they don't know what's going on. Hey, Orla Greg, how you doing? And so don't listen to them. We don't know what's going on. Is Kennedy gone? Well, I would say her allies, what's left of them, are still putting out stuff because some idiot put out that rumor that there's going to be a Kyle Ron animated show. Who wants that? They don't want to think that he's back. Voice of Judgment. They don't. Even his biggest fans don't want to. And again, I'm going to say this. I think they're really scared. If there's nothing to be miserable about, their channels won't make money. Why is the 4th of November going to be funny? Anyway, is Kennedy gone? Haven't really seen her anywhere. You'd think she would have been the one interviewed about The Mandalorian and about Star Wars, but she wasn't. There you go. And I hope he wins a second term. He better win a second term or we're screwed. The world is screwed. I really don't feel like having Antifa coming into my neighborhood. But, it's just, we just gotta wait for 2 weeks and we'll see what happens, okay? There's a lot of good things, I think, coming up. There'll be a lot of bumps in the road, but if we get a mea culpa, which Jon Favreau was basically doing it then, we'll see. Yeah, I think the stock market does know, but I'm going to tell you this and then I am going to let you leave because I got to go and see my horse. Disney is using some of the money they borrowed from the federal government and other places to buy their stock to keep it inflated. Okay? It's one of the things they're doing. The stock is actually valued at about $80. I wouldn't buy it. I talked to somebody that owns stock, and she said she's been telling people don't buy Disney stock unless it's under $75 a share. Okay, so there you go. Anyway, I wanted to stop by and say hi. Didn't feel like making a video, so I'm glad you guys were able to hang out for a half hour with me. And it'll be too. It won't be close enough for them to cheat. And just pray for a resolution to this stuff, that Disney's learned its lesson, and that the SJW grip on Hollywood finally dies. Okay, and I think the moment it's said that Kathleen Kennedy is resigning early, everybody in Hollywood's going to know she was fired. All right, everybody's going to know. Steph signing out. See you around the galaxy. Oh, and if you're on Twitter, follow a guy named Fedorable the Horrible. He knows stuff too. See you around.